The story begins with an old woman who lived completely alone in her home. Yet, her face wore a look of terror, as if she were living alongside a secret known only to her. Her eyes repeatedly drifted toward an old wooden box in the room, as though a horrific secret was hidden inside it. Ignoring the box, she stands before a mirror and begins combing her hair. But as she runs her hand through her hair, it falls out in clumps into her hands. Seeing this terrifies her, and she becomes convinced that the wooden box is causing it. In a mixture of rage and fear, she grabs a hammer to smash the box. But as the hammer approaches it, strange and terrifying sounds begin echoing from within. The next moment, her hands start trembling. Her eyes turn completely white, as if an evil force has taken control of her body. Before she can comprehend what is happening, an unseen force hurls her through the air and repeatedly slams her onto the floor. Within moments, her entire body is covered in blood. At that exact moment, her son stands outside calling for her. Hearing her screams, he bursts through the door and stands frozen in shock at the horrific scene. Next, the story introduces Clyde. Clyde and his wife, Stephanie, are separated and preparing for a divorce. They have two daughters, Hannah and Emily, lovingly called Em. According to the court's decision, both daughters spend weekends with Clyde. Brett, a man Stephanie has been dating for a while, also arrives. Before they leave, Stephanie firmly instructs Clyde to take good care of the girls, especially Emily, who has severe allergies. She reminds him that Emily broke out in hives last time, warning him to feed her healthy food and avoid pizza entirely. Clyde then takes his daughters to his new apartment. The next morning, he takes them out to explore. On the way, they come across a garage sale outside the very house where the old woman lived. Among the old items, Emily notices the mysterious wooden box. Unexplainably drawn to it, she insists on taking it home. Suddenly, Emily glances at a window and spots the old woman, her body covered in injuries. The woman panics upon seeing the box in Emily's hands and begins screaming hysterically. Frightened by her face, Emily runs back to the car. After returning home, Emily and her father try to open the box, but it remains shut. Clyde smiles and suggests the creator intentionally designed it that way to prevent anyone from opening it easily. Just then, Clyde receives an urgent phone call. Taking advantage of his distraction, Emily quietly takes the box to her room. Unknowingly, she has invited a demonic force into her room that will soon alter her life forever. That night, while the family sleeps, Emily hears faint voices coming from the box, as if calling out to her. As she approaches it, the box opens automatically without any key. Inside lie several strange objects, small stone animal figurines, dead moths, and an old ring. Without hesitation, Emily slips the ring onto her finger and goes to sleep. The next morning, as Hannah dances to music, Emily sits quietly in a corner watching her. Hannah asks if she is all right, and Emily whispers that she feels something strange happening to her. Assuming Emily is simply upset about their parents' divorce, Hannah does not take it seriously. Later, they go out together, but when they return that night, they find the kitchen completely trashed with food scattered across the floor. Clyde searches the house, finding no one, and reassures the girls that a raccoon likely got inside. However, the real cause was far darker. That night, Emily sits before the box once again and remains motionless for the entire night. The next morning, Clyde calls her for breakfast, but receives no answer. Concerned, he enters her room and stops in his tracks. Emily sits before the open box, staring into a small mirror inside it. Her eyes are completely white, and her face appears possessed by an evil force. Terrified, Clyde reaches out to touch her shoulder. But when Emily turns around, she appears completely normal, leaving him deeply confused. At breakfast, Emily sits silently while Hannah speaks excitedly. Suddenly, Emily begins eating ravenously like a wild animal. When Clyde tells her to slow down, she ignores him. He shouts her name, and in response, Emily plunges a fork directly into his hand. As Clyde screams in pain, Emily snaps back to her senses and bursts into tears. As if she had no control over her body, That night, the box opens by itself once more, and a large moth crawls out. The next morning, hundreds of moths suddenly swarm the bathroom while Hannah is brushing her teeth. Terrified, she screams for Clyde. As Clyde runs toward her, he notices moths hovering outside Emily's bedroom door. He opens the door to find the entire room filled with thousands of flying insects, with Emily sitting silently on her bed. When she fails to respond to his calls, Clyde rushes in and pulls her out. Unable to comprehend what is happening, Clyde takes both daughters back to Stephanie's house. Before leaving, he asks Stephanie if she noticed Emily's strange behavior, but Stephanie tells him not to worry. Later that night, Clyde calls Emily, but she repeatedly asks if her box is safe, warning him not to open it. Convinced that the box holds a dark secret, Clyde decides to inspect it. Inside, he finds the same stone statues and dead moths. Meanwhile, at Stephanie's house, Emily falls ill, standing before the bathroom mirror feeling nauseous. She shines a flashlight down her throat and screams upon seeing human fingers moving inside her neck. By now, Emily refuses to part with the box, even bringing it to school. One day in class, a boy curiosity lifts her bag to look inside the box. Enraged, Emily attacks him violently, beating him with unnatural strength. Following the incident, the school management summons Clyde and Stephanie. The teacher explains that Emily's behavior has drastically changed and recommends keeping the box away from her. The teacher stores the box in the staff room. Later that day, while alone in the room, the teacher tries to open the box. Suddenly, blood streams from her eyes, and an invisible force violently hurls her across the room, killing her instantly in the same horrific manner as the old woman. The next morning, Clyde tells Emily that school is closed due to her teacher's death. Indifferent, Emily only asks if her box is still at the school. When Clyde asks who she talks to in front of the box, Emily calmly replies that she speaks to the friend living inside it, adding that her friend called her special. Realizing something is terribly wrong, Clyde retrieves the box from the school and throws it away far outside the city. However, Emily was already under its complete control. That night, Emily immediately demands to know where her box is. Suddenly, she begins slapping herself repeatedly, crying out, "Dad, why are you hitting me?" Confused, Hannah assumes Clyde is hurting her. Emily then runs out of the house toward the spot where Clyde discarded the box. Clyde chases after her. Reaching the location, Emily hears an unseen woman's voice speaking an unknown language, and she replies in the same tongue. Suddenly, Emily opens her mouth wide, and dozens of flying moths swarm into her throat before she collapses unconscious. Clyde gathers her in his arms and brings her home, where Stephanie, Hannah, and the police are waiting. Determined to uncover the truth, Clyde takes the box to a professor. Examining the Hebrew carvings, the professor reveals it is a Dibbuk Box, a vessel built to trap a malicious spirit, or Dibbuk, seeking a human host. He warns Clyde never to break or destroy the box, as doing so would release the demon permanently, and advises him to seek a rabbi experienced in Jewish rituals. Returning home, Clyde researches the Dibbuk and enters Emily's room with a prayer book. As he begins reading the prayers aloud, a sudden gust of wind fills the room and an invisible presence manifests. Frightened, Clyde pleads with the entity to take his life instead of his daughter's. Emily merely stares at him silently as tears stream down her face. Stephanie enters and ushers Clyde out, realizing he cannot fight this alone. Clyde meets Tzadok, a rabbi's son, who takes him to his father upon seeing the Dibbuk Box. The rabbi explains that the entity, named Abizu, targets innocent souls, gradually taking complete control over their body and life force. He explains that the only way to save Emily is an exorcism, which requires calling the demon by its true name to command it back into the box. Devastated, Clyde begs for help, although the rabbi hesitates. Tzadok steps forward and agrees to help save Emily. Meanwhile, at home, Stephanie finds Emily eating raw meat straight from the freezer. Emily hysterically cries out, "I am not Emily," before throwing kitchen items and attacking Stephanie, who tightly holds her daughter to calm her down. The next morning, as Brett cleans his car, Emily approaches him with blackened eyes. Suddenly, Brett begins coughing up blood and collapses, while Emily falls unconscious. An ambulance is called and Hannah witnesses a moth flying out of Emily's mouth. At the hospital, medical scans reveal a terrifying image, the distinct outline of an extra face inside Emily's body. Clyde and Tzadok arrive at the hospital, having uncovered the demon's name Abizu by breaking the mirror inside the box. They move Emily to a deserted upper floor of the hospital to perform the exorcism. As Tzadok recites the prayers, Emily violently contorts, speaks in a demonic voice, and throws everyone across the room with supernatural strength. She chokes Tzadok before fleeing into a dark room. Clyde follows her, ignoring Tzadok's warnings. In the darkness, Emily attacks him, but Clyde shouts, "Take me instead. Leave my daughter." Hearing this, Emily instantly snaps back to normal, hugs her father, and the ring falls from her finger. Suddenly, the demon shifts its host into Clyde. His hand contorts, his eyes turn white, and an invisible force pins him against the wall. Tzadok relentlessly chants the exorcism prayers. A dark, horrific hand emerges from Clyde's mouth as thousands of moths fill the air. Through the power of the prayers, the demon is forcibly pulled out of Clyde and sealed back inside the Dibbuk Box. The box snaps shut, successfully freeing Emily and her family. Sometime later, the family is reunited, and Clyde and Stephanie's relationship begins to heal. Meanwhile, Tzadok drives away to dispose of the Dibbuk Box safely. However, a sudden truck collision causes a violent crash, throwing the box out onto the roadway. The story ends on a chilling note of suspense. Will the box be safely contained, or will it claim another innocent victim?